What's up, pack members? It's your leader, Spirit the Alpha here, and welcome to another video. So, I'm trying to think of new ideas for videos, and this here seems like a pretty popular subject right now, so I thought I'd talk about it myself. So, I'm a big fan of the Injustice video games, and so far we've only gotten two Injustice video games. We've gotten Injustice Gods Among Us, which is the original one, and then we had Injustice 2. And me personally, as a big fan of both games, I would love an Injustice 3 to happen. And while it's been a couple years since Injustice 2 released, I still feel like that Injustice 3 can still happen because of a big post that someone made recently, which I'll talk about that in a second, but for right now, I want to mention something else that a lot of people have said. Now, for a while, NetherRealm Studios has gone by a certain formula. It's been like Injustice game, Mortal Kombat game, Injustice game, Mortal Kombat game, that kind of thing. But most recently, they've actually broken that formula because, we got like Injustice 1, and then I don't remember the exact order, whether Mortal Kombat 9 came out first or Injustice Gods Among Us came first. Whichever one came out, doesn't really matter. But I feel like after whichever game, we got like Mortal Kombat X or whatever, and then we got Injustice 2, and then we got Mortal Kombat 11, and you'd expect to get a Mortal Kombat, or sorry, I totally messed up there. So, as I was saying, after Mortal Kombat 11, you'd expect to get like an Injustice 3 game, but instead they broke that formula and gave us Mortal Kombat 1. And just so you know, I do not play Mortal Kombat games. Sorry, it's just not my kind of game. And I have played a demo of, or well, not demo, but technically a demo at Comic Con before of Mortal Kombat 11 just because, just wanted to try it out. And it wasn't really my kind of game. It's just not my style. But if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, good for you. It's just not my kind of game. So, but as I was saying, like ever since they broke the formula, it made people think, is Injustice done? Well, I don't think that's the case because apparently some guy named Ed Boon, don't know if that's his name or not, but he pretty much like made a post or had an interview or something, and he mentioned that like NetherRealm's like next project has been in development or work for like 3 years or something. And while this isn't confirmed in Justice 3, there's a very high chance that it could be in Justice 3. So pretty much like with that out of the way, I'm pretty much going to be discussing like a couple things about this possibility. What could the future of Injustice 3 hold? What could we expect? Like some theories I have, and what would I personally want to see in Injustice 3? So let's go ahead and get started with that. So to start things off with stuff that we can expect in Injustice 3, if it comes out, pretty much like no matter what, I feel like Injustice has to have Batman and Superman because they've been clashing since the beginning of Injustice. Ever since the original Injustice Gods Among Us, Batman and Superman have been clashing. And then, they're the main characters of Injustice, the main two. And then for other characters that we can expect to see in Injustice 3 again, I say this because we've gotten these characters in like all three games, or both games, I should say. We've got Batman, we got Superman, we've gotten Wonder Woman. I feel like she's important to this since those three are like the main DC three. And then we got Green Lantern in both games, and we got, well, I would say Green Arrow. He was in both games, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see if he gets included in Justice 3. And then beyond that, there's been plenty of other characters. Like I feel like for the villain counterparts, I feel like you kind of got to add in the Joker since he's been Batman's villain like both times. But interesting enough, like in the first game, we got Superman's arch enemy Lex Luthor. We got him, and we got General Zod too. Even if General Zod was DLC, but still counts. But in Injustice 2, while we did get Joker, we did not get General Zod nor Lex Luthor. So I guess the Superman villain that we got, if this counts as a Superman villain in Injustice 2, was Brainiac, and he was the main antagonist of Injustice 2. But that's just a random thought there. I don't know like if all those characters could return or not. Like obviously Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, those three gotta come back. You just can't have the game without them. Green Lantern and Green Arrow and like whatever our character you can think of, it's a chance that they can come back or they may not come back. Same thing with the Flash. He was in both games, but like I don't know if he could come back or not. It'd be cool if he did, but we already gotten all the versions of Flash that we could think of. We've gotten like the basic Flash, we've gotten Jay Garrick Flash, and then Reverse Flash. I wouldn't be disappointed though if we got like say like Savitar or Zoom or like I don't know whatever Flash variant you could think of. Heck, even Kid Flash, I wouldn't mind that either. But you know, just like possibilities. So yeah, but I feel like one thing that Injustice 2 kind of didn't do very well was the fact of some characters just being on their own. Well, I say that because think about Injustice 1. We got Shazam and we got his counterpart Black Adam, and that was awesome. Because you had the hero, you had the villain, you can clash with them. But in Injustice 2, while we did get Black Adam, and Black Adam was awesome in Injustice 2, don't get me wrong, but there's no Shazam in Injustice 2. Like, how can you add Black Adam but not have Shazam? That there feels a little weird to me. And I'm not saying that I don't want Black Adam in Injustice 3. I'd love for him to be back in Injustice 3. But at the same time, I feel like that you should, or they should have given us at least one other Shazam character. Heck, it didn't even have to be Shazam. If you wanted to add like the multiverse variant of Shazam, like what's his name, like Mazaz or whatever his name is, you could totally do that. Or you can like add one of the Shazam family members. That would have been okay too, but it just feels weird having Black Adam on his own. But again, that's my opinion. And so, yep. Again, that's kind of just my rumored thoughts. Like, what characters I know will return for sure. Like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Those three gotta return because they're like the main cast. Then other characters like Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, so on and so on. Oh, they could come back. They might not come back. Same thing with Cyborg because he was in both games too. But yep, I think that's what I wanted to talk about for the first part. What characters could we expect for sure in this next game whenever it comes out? So with that topic done, the next thing I want to discuss is what new characters could we get? So, the new characters that we could get are let's see. Like I mentioned this before, and I'm sure a lot of people think about it like this. Like we've gotten almost all of the Teen Titans in both Injustice games because in the first Injustice game we got Cyborg and we got Raven. They were in Injustice One, and then Robin technically wasn't in the first Earth game. Nightwing was in the first game, but that's close enough to Robin. I know Nightwing doesn't really team up with the Teen Titans as far as I know, at least. I guess he could, but we got them, and then Injustice Two. We don't have Raven anymore, so sad on that. We had Robin, even if it was the Damian Wayne version of Robin, still counts. Then we got Cyborg back, like I said, and then for DLC we got Starfire. So, yep, that's almost all of the Teen Titans. So in the third game, if we get Cyborg back, that would be awesome. And if we get another version of Robin, be it like any Robin really, like Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne again, and like Tim Drake, any of them really. I'd even accept the female Robin, whatever her name was. But yeah, so that's my thought on that. And I think Beast Boy would be a good pick because, like, Beast Boy is the only Teen Titan we have not gotten in Injustice yet. And sure, there was a little bit of like explaining or like a little bit of a teaser for that in like I forgot if it was Starfire's. I think it was Starfire's like story mode that or her ending that talked about like they don't know where Beast Boy is or whatever. So, yep, maybe he will make a return in, or maybe he will be out in Injustice 3. I can't confirm that, and I don't know if that's actually going to be a thing or not, but, still nice to think about, more or less. And, um, what else was I going to say? But, at the same time, I'm not sure how Beast Boy would play. He'd be cool to try out, but I don't know how he'd play as a character. But again, that's just my thoughts. So, another character that I feel like could be really cool in Injustice 3, and it would make sense if we're following this little formula. Well, I'll say this first. When it comes to magic-based characters, like we've gotten like one in each game. Like in the first game, we got Zatanna as DLC, and then in the second game, we got Doctor Fate as a base character. So, I thought of this theory that, like, if we have Zatanna and if we have Doctor Fate, could that mean that in Injustice 3 we can maybe get, say, like, Constantine in this game? Which, personally, I don't even know much about Constantine, but when it comes to magic characters, I am all about that. So, if Constantine does, in fact, appear in Injustice 3, then thumbs up for that. So, trying to think what else I wanted to say. I think that's all I can really discuss about like possible like rumors because I can't think of any other character that like could be rumored to come back. Like, actually, I guess I could talk about this other topic. This is another like kind of interesting topic of its own, but I guess the next thing I can talk about and mix in with my other one is guest characters. So guest characters have been kind of a common thing in Injustice since game one, even if in the first game we only got a single guest character, which was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, but that kind of made sense considering, Mortal Kombat and Injustice are made by the same studio of NetherRealm. So that made sense. And even if he was the only guest character in that game, it was still really cool in my opinion. And then obviously Injustice 2, sadly Scorpion did not make a return, which is a pity, but we did get two DLC Mortal Kombat characters because we got Sub-Zero and we got Raiden. And I want to follow that up for Injustice 3, not necessarily with any of those three characters, but I feel like that if we're going to get more Mortal Kombat characters in Injustice 3, which would make sense if we did, I wouldn't say they would add three more Mortal Kombat characters, but ones that now this is just me like predicting based on a silly reason, but think about it like this. Like in the original Mortal Kombat, the original characters were like Kano, Liu Kang, Raiden, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Sonya. So, seven main characters, I guess S9 if you count like Shang Tsung or Goro or whatever. But pretty much like the main seven or so. Since we got Scorpion, Sub Zero, and Raiden throughout the two games, maybe by some chance we can get like Kano, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, or Sonya. Sure, that's kind of a high maybe, but I think the most what's I gonna say? I think the most likely characters to maybe get an appearance in Injustice Fear probably Liu Kang because I feel like he's like a big deal in Mortal Kombat, and same thing with like I guess Kano isn't that big of a deal, but maybe it's just me. But like I think out of those three that I mentioned could come, I think Liu Kang would make the most sense. Heck, maybe even Reptile. I know Reptile wasn't a big deal, but I just feel like Reptile would be an interesting choice, to say the least. But yeah, that's what I have to say about Mortal Kombat characters for Injustice 3. And then the other guest characters that we've gotten in Injustice 2 are obviously, we've gotten the Ninja Turtles, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. And we also got, Hellboy. I didn't even realize Hellboy wasn't DC. I didn't realize that was his own studio. But still kind of cool that we got Hellboy. So, oh, one second, let me turn my mic off for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I had to blow my nose. I didn't want y'all to hear that. So, what I was saying was, I guess that's the next topic that I could discuss would probably be my wish list or what I'd want to see in Injustice 3, even if it probably will never happen. So, oh, obviously, I mentioned guest characters. Like, what guest characters would I want to see in Injustice 3 that would make sense? Say what you want, but I would love to have Spawn in Injustice 3. And I know that Spawn is already a guest character in Mortal Kombat 11, which still kind of rubs me the wrong way, mind you. But, you know, I feel like that he would be a cool character to have in Injustice 3, even if it probably won't ever happen. If it does, that would be awesome. But if it doesn't, then oh well. But it's like I said before, though. I feel like it is a possibility since obviously since he's in like Mortal Kombat 11 as a guest DLC character, I feel like Spawn could technically come to Injustice 3, even if he is kind of a mature character. But I, yeah, because I feel like if the Joker can make it into both like Injustice and Mortal Kombat. Same thing with Scorpion, Raiden, and Sub Zero. If those mature or if three Mortal Kombat characters who are very mature can make it into Injustice, then I would say it should be okay for like. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry about the interruption, guys. My mom called on me down for dinner, so I guess Direwolf is now fed. But anyway, what I was saying before I got cut off is that if like the three Mortal Kombat characters that we got throughout both Injustice games, the Scorpion, Sub Zero, and Raiden, if three very mature characters, or at least three characters from a very mature game, if those three can make it into Injustice games, be it, how mature they are, even though they are dumbed down a good bit in Injustice games, they're still very mature characters or come from a mature like database or whatever I'm trying to say. So my point is that while Spawn is a very mature rated superhero or anti-hero, you can say, I would still say that considering, he is mature, but he's been in Mortal Kombat 11, which is a part of NetherRealm Studios, and since Mortal Kombat characters got into Injustice games, I think it would be okay to have Spawn in Injustice 3. It may not happen, but if it does, that would be awesome. And at the same time, I feel like Hellboy, even if he's not truly a mature character, I still feel like he's not a character that's necessarily meant for kids. But that's just my opinion, of course. Long story short, I would love to see Spawn on Injustice 3. Even if it might not happen, I would still like to think and, consider the possibility. So yeah, but again, that's just me. And actually, during dinner, it actually crossed my mind that I actually forgot to mention a possibility of what could happen or come back in Injustice 3 compared to Injustice 2. One thing that I forgot about is like, we have Green Lantern, he's been in both games, but for each game, Injustice 1 and Injustice 2, we've gotten one Green Lantern counterpart. In the first game, we got Sinestro of the Yellow Lanterns, and then in Injustice 2, we got Atrocitus from the Red Lanterns. So if we're thinking about like, Green Lantern being in the third game and giving him another different like lantern counterpart, I would say it would probably make the most sense to like have like say like Larfleeze of the Orange Lanterns because that would complete like the three main villainous lantern if you want to call them that since Sinestro and Atrocitus, those two are obviously evil lanterns if you want to call them that. Well, I'd call them evil. They're still awesome more or less. So it would make sense that Larfleeze would definitely be a good choice for a third Lantern counterpart to have it in Justice 3. And if not Larfleeze, you can maybe have, say, like Black Hand or like any one of the other Black Lanterns. Unfortunately, Black Hand is the only Black Lantern I know. Forgive me, I actually don't know that much about the White Lanterns and the Black Lanterns. To be honest, I don't really know much about the Lantern Corps altogether, minus what they represent. But whatever case, I actually forgot to mention that when I like, mentioned like what could possibly come back in Injustice 3 or what could be new or possible based on theories or what we've seen. So forgive me for forgetting that. It just didn't cross my mind until after I had dinner. But anyway, with that out of the way, hey, maybe I'll come back to like that later on, but like I think there's a bunch of characters that would make sense to see in Injustice 3. Eh, Like for example, like I think I already talked about the Flash, but like which I feel like I did, but same thing. Like if we can get like a third Lantern counterpart, like Larfleeze, for example, or even Black Hand or another Black Lantern, then I would say it could be possible. Like if we're gonna get Flash back, have more Flash variants. Like because in Injustice One, we got the basic Flash, and we got a bunch of different costumes or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then in Injustice 2, you had your basic Flash, but then you can change around the skin to have like you say like the Jay Garrick Flash or the Reverse Flash. And like I said before, it would be unique even if it is just the skin to like say have like Kid Flash, be it the Wally West version or the normal Kid Flash or whatever you want to call it. Heck, or just the Wally West Flash as himself or whatever. That would be cool, too. Or even have like Zoom, even if he is a villain. And same thing with Savitar. I would love to see Savitar. That probably won't ever happen, but God can hope, right? And now that I think about it, we got Flash villains in Injustice 2. We got Gorilla Grodd and we got Captain Cold, but I don't know if we got a Flash villain in Injustice 1. But so there's a possibility. And like I said before, like I feel like there's a bunch of characters that were awesome in Injustice 1 that should have made a comeback in Injustice 2. Like, I'm not going to mention a bunch of them just because, I've already given my thoughts about that. But, there's a bunch of characters that I would love to see in Injustice 3. Like, one character that I would love to see return that didn't make it to Injustice 2 was Lobo. Lobo was my guy back in Injustice 1. I don't know why I liked him so much. I just did. And then same thing with like Doomsday. I feel like he would have been a good choice too, because like Doomsday coming back would be awesome because I like Doomsday personally. So is Blaster. It's one of his favorites, I think, and it would make sense have a really good Superman villain, and that kind of stuff. So yeah. As for what are characters that are DC based that I wouldn't mind seeing in Injustice 3, I wouldn't mind. This is kind of interesting, but I wouldn't mind seeing Hawkman, considering we had Hawk Girl in Injustice 1. And while, in my opinion, she wasn't the best character, I still feel like it would be kind of cool, to pay tribute to her with Hawkman or something like that. And yeah, I'm trying to think what our DC characters I really liked that I wouldn't mind seeing in the Injustice 3. Like I said, trying to think of like Batman enemies. Like I know there's a few Batman enemies that would probably never like be playable, just for obvious reasons. But still okay. And sorry, I am kind of doing this off the top of my head, so I didn't script anything. I'm just I'm just kind of doing this without like properly thinking. So I'm trying to just think about characters that pop into my mind and while doing this because you guys know I don't script anything. But let me see. What DC villain have we not seen yet in an Injustice game? Let's see. There's a couple Batman villains I could talk about. Say like Killer Croc, the Riddler, Two Face, Penguin, stuff like that. That would be kind of cool. Actually, no, I should have thought of a character. While he's not necessarily a villain, I think this would be an awesome character to add into the game, and that would be Azrael, the Batman Azrael. Oh, well, I mean, I don't mean like Azrael in the Batman suit. I mean just like Azrael is like a character, like the Knight of Saint Dumont, however you say it. But I think he would be an awesome choice, and that would almost complete the Bat family if you think about it, because we got Batgirl and Nightwing in the first Earth game. And, we got well Red Hood as a DLC character in the second game, and we got Robin, and we got Catwoman in both games. I actually don't know the full Bat family. Now, not saying that we should add Alfred into this game as a playable character, but if there's like a armored Alfred or like a superhero suit Alfred, say like we saw in like the Lego Batman movie, that would be kind of cool to see. Just like a unique idea. But again, that's me. And on top of that, there's plenty of other Batman characters that we could totally get. Like say like like, again, I guess this is kind of female Robin again, but the spoiler that would be kind of cool. And then for other characters, let's see. Trying to think of what our characters that I've seen based on Lego video games and other stuff. I usually use Lego video games when I think about DC characters because that's how I know most of the characters. Let's see that who we have not gotten, be it skins or base characters. Like I said, trying to think of some other ones. Let's see. Eh, I don't actually know, to be honest. I mean, maybe Batwoman, although that's really not that different than Batgirl, I guess. And let's see. And then like I said, there's a couple characters that I don't think could really become playable. Say like that are Batman Day. Say like Mad Hatter. I don't think he would be a good character pick. Maybe if you like him, good for you. One character that I think would be awesome to play as is Ra's al Ghul. Considering like since we got Damian Wayne, Robin, who's definitely a part of the League of Assassins, it would be cool if we got like Ra's al Ghul or even Talia al Ghul. That would be really cool too. But again, oh, that's just me trying to think of different characters. And then, you know, like I would say a Batman definitely has more characters that I can remember off the top of my head. But, most of them I can't even really think about at the moment. Like, I'm trying not to throw too many like Suicide Squad characters in, even though that's a possibility since we got Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, and Injustice 2 as for Suicide Squad Joker technically, and then we got like Deadshot, who's a Suicide Squad member. We got Enchantress as a DLC character, so I could say it could be possible that we could get like Captain Boomerang or like El Diablo or Kitana, whatever her name was, and King Shark. I guess he could technically be a character, but I don't know for sure. And so on, so on. I guess you could say I'm kind of losing like thought right now. So I could go on, but I don't want to waste you guys' time so much. Long story short, there's a ton of DC characters out there that I would probably love to see in Injustice 3, whether they be able to come or whether they're not able to come. Long story short, I would say there's a ton of guest characters in that I could love to see, tons of DC characters I would love to see. But at the end of the day, like Injustice 3, while it's not confirmed, it's definitely something I want to see. And yep, whenever it does come out, whether it gets revealed soon or whether it's not going to be revealed to 2025, whatever the case, if it comes out, I'll definitely get it no matter what. But that's my thoughts. So until next time, this is Spirit the Alpha signing out. I'll see you guys back in the pack.